Out of all the planets, Venus is probably the easiest of all the planets to identify. It is the third brightest object in the sky after the sun and moon, and Venus is only visible at sunrise or sunset. And to understand why, we have to look at the orbit of Venus. Venus is only visible around sunrise and sunset because of where it is in the solar system. It is closer to the sun than Earth, so we always see it in the same part of the sky as the sun. It never gets far away from the sun's position for us to see it high up at night. And since Venus is never far from the sun in the sky, we can only catch a glimpse of it around dawn or dusk, just before the sun rises or right after it sets. Let's review why this happens. Venus becomes the morning star when it rises in the east shortly before sunrise, and this occurs when Venus is on the far side of the sun and moving along in its orbit so that it appears ahead of Earth's rotation. You can also recognize Venus at this time of day because how bright it is. Venus has a very dense carbon dioxide atmosphere and it reflects sunlight efficiently. So when we see it, it's very bright to us because of the type of cloud cover it has and how the light is reflecting it. When Venus becomes the evening star, it appears in the west right after sunset, and this happens when Venus is on the near side of the sun, catching up to Earth in its orbit. So it lingers in the evening twilight and it really outshines all the other celestial objects except the moon. There are times when Venus is absent from the sky. This occurs when it is either positioned behind the sun from our perspective or when it is closest to Earth, with its night side facing us and its day side pointed away. These periods of invisibility fall between Venus's phases as the morning star and the evening star. They are known as superior conjunction when Venus is behind the sun and inferior conjunction when Venus is between Earth and the sun. The timing of these conjunctions varies due to Venus's orbital cycle. Now let's review the 584-day pattern of Venus. This is known as the synodic period of Venus, and it represents the time it takes for Venus to return to the same position relative to Earth and the Sun as seen from the Earth. And this pattern is what governs Venus's cycle of visibility and its alternation between the morning star and the evening star. In the morning star phase, Venus rises before the sun and is visible in the eastern sky for 263 days. After that, for the next 50 days, Venus passes behind the sun as seen from Earth, so it's not visible to us. Then Venus will enter the evening star phase, and that is another 263 days. Venus appears after sunset in the western sky, glowing very brightly in the evening. After that, for 8 days, it's the inferior conjunction phase. This is when Venus passes between the Earth and the Sun and is not visible to us because its night side or new phase is facing towards Earth, rendering it invisible to us. After these phases, Venus reemerges and repeats the cycle. This 584-day period is the result of Venus's orbital resonance with Earth, as Venus orbits the Sun about 1.6 times for every Earth year. An alternative perspective is that for every 13 orbits Venus completes, Earth completes 8. Over a span of 8 Earth years, Venus completes almost exactly 13 orbits around the Sun, forming a 13 to 8 ratio. These numbers are consecutive Fibonacci numbers and closely approximate the golden ratio. While the orbital relationship between Venus and Earth does not strictly follow the golden ratio, it lines closely with its principles, reflecting a harmonious mathematical connection. This unique rhythm contributes to Venus's predictable visibility and cultural significance throughout human history. Seeing the pattern of the planets is not something you can observe in one night. It takes weeks and months and even years to not only recognize the constellations, but also to notice the subtle changes of planetary movement. However, recognizing the pattern of Venus is pretty simple. If it's brighter than all the other stars at either sunrise or sunset, but not as bright as the moon, then you can easily find Venus. It also has a very predictable 584-day cycle, and many ancient astronomers and past civilizations tracked and recorded the pattern of Venus. Only 5 planets were known to the ancient cultures: Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These 5 planets stood out because they did not follow the consistent patterns of the stars in their nightly motion across the sky. Unlike stars, which maintained fixed positions relative to one another while appearing to rotate around a central point, the planets seemed to wander against the backdrop of the stars, and this nightly shift in their positions made them unique and easily recognizable. Other things you can notice about Venus is that its brightness can vary over time, and this depends on its distance from Earth. At times, Venus appears dimmer as it moves farther away, while at other times it becomes brighter as it moves closer to Earth. Additionally, Venus never rises higher than 45 degrees above the horizon, and it is often seen much lower in the sky, staying close to the horizon. To spot Venus, look low on the horizon shortly after sunset or before sunrise, where it glows as the brightest object in the sky besides the moon. In the next video, we'll explore how Venus appears in the sky when compared to the other planets that can be seen with the naked eye. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the playlist on my channel for more content and download a free stargazing guide on my website. The links are listed below. Now let's see if you can spot Venus in the upcoming footage.